Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the match between FC Barcelona and PSG. This will be match day 2 for the Champions League clash, and it is going to be held at the Montjuic Stadium, which is Barcelona's home. PSG is going to be facing Barcelona away, which is huge news, and I'm going to be explaining why it is such a big deal. Barcelona have had a perfect start so far because we have already defeated Newcastle in the first game for the Champions League 2-1 after a powerful Marcus Rashford brace. I'm pretty sure that for the starting 11 against PSG, Marcus Rashford has to be included. I mean, like, look at what Rashford did against Real Sociedad. Another assist provided. He has been one of the most consistent attackers so far this season and a great substitution to Raphinha. So we are going to be facing the winners of the previous Champions League campaign, and that is PSG. And they have already also had a perfect start to this Champions League campaign after defeating Atalanta 4-0. And yes, PSG are going to be without Dembélé and Doué in this game against Barca, but I think that Luis Enrique's men are very much looking at a back-to-back UCL spell, which is exactly one of the biggest goals Luis Enrique is going to want to chase. And so they're going to be here to make a statement. Looking at their head-to-head history, these two clubs have been very evenly matched. I know that over the past, I would say 3 to 4 years, it does not look so even, but across the 13 matches, Barcelona have won 5, PSG have won 4, and there's been a total of 4 draws. PSG also recently smashed Barcelona 4-1 in the 2023-2024 quarterfinals. And so I really do think that Barcelona are going to be looking for revenge. We could have had that game in terms of revenge, right? Like last season, if Barcelona went through Inter Milan. We wanted a PSG versus Barcelona final, but unfortunately Inter Milan came in with their all in the semifinal match and then only to bend over to PSG in the final and losing by a 5-goal margin. Now looking at Barcelona's absences, there is quite a few. Like Luis Enrique stated that it's unfortunate that both teams like PSG and Barcelona are not going to be facing each other at their best. And in my opinion, dude, I really wished there was some way we can just postpone this game up until January or something crazy like that, or maybe even February, because I want to see Barcelona versus PSG at their best with all players available. But unfortunately for both clubs, they're going through an injury crisis. For Barcelona, Joan García is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Raphinha is also not going to be in this game, right? Mr. Champions League. He has gone through a hamstring injury and he's going to be out for the next 3 weeks. Ter Stegen, we all know, is going to be out. Gavi is also going to be out for the next 4 to 5 months. Fermin Lopez is out for the next 3 weeks, but expect for Lamine Yamal to for sure start against PSG. If you guys have seen his performance against Real Sociedad, you can just see that, Barcelona were really missing Lamine Yamal. Not in terms of goal contributions, etc., goals, assists, chance creation, but because of vibes, bro. Lamine Yamal just brings that extra power, the extra vibe, the extra, I would just say, scariness to any defensive line. Because I really don't want to take anything away from what Marcus Rashford, Raphinha, Ferran, Lewandowski have all been doing together. They were really doing their jobs without Lamine Yamal, but with Yamal, it's always going to be something different. Balde is also expected to be in the starting 11 versus PSG, and if not, it's probably going to be Gerard Martin. As for PSG, Marquinhos is going to be out, Dembélé is also going to be out, Joan Neves will also be absent, and then we have Doué, who is also going to be absent. As for the players who are doubtful, maybe they could be there or may not, it's going to be Vitinha, who recently just got injured and had to exit the game early on the 36th minute. Guevara could also not be there, and then we have Fabian Ruiz, where there is a 50-50 chance on making an appearance versus Barcelona, which comes to one conclusion, right? Let's talk about the starting 11. I really do think that we're going to be having Szczesny in goal. As for our defensive line, Jules Koundé on the right back position, Araujo and Christensen as our center back pairing. I don't know if Kubarsi is going to be starting. Ideally, I would like to have Kubarsi there, but we'll see. I am going to be waiting to hear what Hansi Flick has to say during the pre-match press conference, but as of now, I'm going to play it safe and just say that Christensen and Araujo are going to be my center back pairing, with Gerard Martin starting on the left back position, but expect for Alejandro Balde to come in later in the game. As for our double pivot, Pedri and Frankie as always, and then for our attack, it's going to be Lamine Yamal on the right, Olmo on the number 10 position, and Marcus Rashford on the left, with Lewandowski as our striker. Lewandowski has been in top goal scoring form. I know that many want to see Ferran Torres maybe starting on the left wing position, also starting on the striker position, but I do think that with Marcus Rashford really making an impression in the previous Champions League match, scoring that brace, we have to reward that. Lewandowski has also been scoring a lot of headers lately. As a matter of fact, Barcelona as a collective have been scoring a lot of header goals. Look at Jules Koundé's goal, Lewandowski's goal, the goals of Marcus Rashford, even with Araujo also scoring previously another header goal. We're getting really good at set pieces, so I do expect a lot of verticality, high pressing, fluid wingers, quick transitions against PSG, because you know what, PSG are going to be coming in here with the idea of trying to maintain more than 70% of the possession. Barcelona is not going to win that. Barcelona is no longer that type of team where they're going to want more than 65 or 70% of the possession. What they're going to want is to kill you and look for those weaknesses. This PSG side has been trained very well by Luis Enrique to maintain possession as much as possible. possible. And I believe that Hansi Flick is going to say, look, I know that ideally we would want the possession the majority of the time, but if we're going to be facing this PSG side, at the very least, if we're not going to win them in possession, let's win them in goals and score as many goals as possible. I expect their starting 11 to look very different because of the absences, the injuries, etc. There's this new goalkeeper that they have named Chevalier. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that is their new goalkeeper. They used to have Donnarumma, which is insane. I don't know why Luis Enrique would even let him go, but yeah, he's out of there. One thing that I noticed about this PSG side is that they do want to score as fast as possible, maintain the possession as early as possible. So expect a very bold kickoff strategy, right? We have to be very careful. They're going to be pressing very high with a lot of rotations happening, a lot of width being implemented, and that is going to lead me towards the next conversation, right? Because many have been asking, Kevin, what are the key battles to this game? Like, what must we win in order for us to really persevere and get the 3 golden points? And a lot of it is going to have to do with, of course, Pedri versus the midfield. Pedri has been phenomenal. He has been world class, a world beater, somebody who gets the ball and you just can't take the ball away from him. And he does it with a lot of style, right? When Pedri's at his A game, Barcelona just have another way of playing, a brand new approach to their attacking football. Pedri is just that effective. However, I do think that ultimately the key battle here is going to be between Yamal and Nuno Mendes. This is going to be the most crucial battle. I know that many might say, oh, but Kevin, what about Lewandowski versus Beraldo or something crazy like that? Like, yeah, I understand that that's also going to be another key battle, but ultimately, if we even want to get the ball to Lewandowski, what needs to be won is Yamal over Mendes. Like, think about that, right? How did we score the second goal against Real Sociedad? It was through Yamal making that cross to Lewandowski. If Barcelona are effective on the right side and Yamal has the ball and he makes those crosses, whether it's to Lewandowski or Ferran Torres or Rashford, Barcelona do win in the end and they score the goals that they need to. We need to go with the exact same game plan up against PSG. If Yamal can get over Nuno Mendes, it's over. Yamal is the cornerstone of Flick's attack and creates a lot of 2 versus 1s with midfielders. The fact that he has 77 successful dribbles in the league so far, which is the most in Europe, that is insane. This guy is our cheat code. And the fact that he also has a dribble success rate of 53.8% on huge volume, by the way. We need to get the best out of Yamal's game on that night. And I believe that his positioning, his effectiveness is going to force PSG to overload defensively and create gaps somewhere else where Marcus Rashford could really punish, or maybe even somebody like Pedri or Frankie. As for Nuno Mendes, we know his role. We know exactly what he likes to do and how good he is and what are his strengths and weaknesses. He has an average of 1.61 successful tackles per 90 minutes plus elite anticipation. This is a very important stat for Nuno Mendes because he's really good at this and there is samples on it. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys remember Spain versus Portugal. What happened in that game? That game was all about Yamal versus Nuno Mendes. So we have seen this battle before, and let me tell you, Nuno Mendes won that battle. He neutralized Yamal so well and held him at just 2 dribbles throughout that whole 120-minute game. He also provides attacking overlaps plus constant 2 versus 1s on PSG's left side, so he's going to be very dangerous. I remember that night in the Nations League final where Mendes actually out-dribbled him. Mendes used a lot of shoulder feints and great timing to win those duels. And if he does replicate this with PSG will survive and they will get the 3 points over FC Barcelona. Now, let's keep in mind, right, when we analyze PSG's defensive game and their defensive weaknesses so far in this season only, they have conceded 0 goals at home. But here's the thing, they have conceded 4 goals away from home. They're averaging 1.33 goals conceded per 90 minutes when they are playing away from home. And this is a game where PSG will be away from home. Barcelona do have an advantage here because in transition, PSG do tend to lose their shape after the possession is lost. And PSG are going to be without a natural organizer. So I do think that if Barcelona can use Yamal's pace in transitions versus PSG reactive press, they can exploit PSG very well. I think that you can also create 2 versus 1 overloads on Mendes with Olmo or Pedri drifting and get Yamal with the ball just outside the box. So it's going to be very intense. I'm telling you guys, like, you have to be on point with games like this. Like, PSG have football. They have the intensity. They're trained by Luis Enrique. There's a reason why this team has gotten better without killing Mbappe. That is because this team really does recognize each other. They know each other. They know how to play with one another and really achieve maximum success. And so Barcelona, for the first time, I do think they're going to be facing a team that very much looks like them. However, the difference that Barcelona do have here is they're much more aggressive in the attack with Yamal and Pedri leading the helm. So let me know in the comment sections down below, what do you believe is going to be the score line and what do you believe is going to be the key battle in this game? In my opinion, I think that Barcelona can win this match 2-1 only if Yamal can successfully get past Nuno Mendes with ease. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in the next one.